Every day, without realizing it, you are part of a system that controls wealth, opportunity, and power. But here's the truth. Most people live inside the economy without ever understanding it. Today, I'm going to change that. Welcome to Real World Business School.
Real World Business School, economic system of a country, national income, GDP, and the truth about wealth. Every day, billions of people wake up, they go to work, they build, they trade, they consume, and without even realizing it, they are participating in one of the most powerful systems ever created, the economic system. But here's the real question. How do we measure all of this activity? How do we know if a country is truly rich or simply surviving? Why do some nations rise rapidly while others remain stuck for decades? And more importantly, what actually determines the economic strength of a country? Welcome to Real World Business School. Today, we break it all down like a world-class economics lecture, but in a way you will never forget. What is an economic system? Let's start from first principles. An economic system is simply the way a country organizes the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Think of it like an engine. Every economy runs on four key players. Households supply labor. Businesses produce goods and services. Government regulates and stabilizes. Consumers drive demand. Together, they must answer three fundamental questions. 1. What to produce. 2. How to produce. 3. For whom to produce. Now here's where it gets interesting. Different countries answer these questions differently. Types of economic systems. Market economy, driven by private enterprise. Command economy, controlled by government. Mixed economy, a blend of both. But regardless of the system, every country must measure its performance. And that brings us to the core of today's discussion. What is national income? Imagine a country as one giant company. National income is the total income earned by all individuals and businesses within that country over a given period. This includes wages, income from labor, profits, income from businesses, rent, income from property, interest, income from capital. In simple terms, national income is the economy's total earnings report. But here's the limitation. Not all economic activity is captured perfectly. So economists use a more precise tool. GDP, the most important number. If there is one number the entire world watches, it is GDP. Gross domestic product, GDP, is the total value of all final goods and services produced within a country in a given period. Three key ideas. Total value, measured in money. Final goods, avoids double counting. Domestic implies location matters, not ownership. GDP is expressed as Y equals C plus, I plus G plus, X minus M. Let's break this into real meaning. 1. Consumption C. Household spending, food, rent, transport, clothing. This is usually the largest component of GDP. 2. Investment I. Spending on future production, machinery, factories, infrastructure. This determines future growth capacity. 3. Government spending G. Public sector activity, roads, schools, hospitals, security. 4. Net exports X minus M. Exports means money coming in. Imports means money going out. If exports exceed imports, GDP rises. Core insight. GDP measures production, not money. What does GDP not tell you? Here's where most people get it wrong. GDP is powerful, but incomplete. GDP does not measure income inequality, standard of living, environmental damage, informal economic activity. A country can have a high GDP and still have poverty, unemployment, poor living conditions. So economists go deeper. Other national income variables. Now we step into true business school territory. 1. Gross national product, GNP. GDP plus income earned abroad. 2. Net national product, NNP. GNP minus depreciation. Depreciation equals wear and tear of capital. 3. Personal income, what individuals actually receive. 4. Disposable income, income after taxes. This is what drives spending. 5. Per capita income, national income divided by population. This reveals average living standards. Two countries can have the same GDP, but very different per capita income. One is truly wealthy, the other only appears large. What determines national income? Yet now we go deeper into the engine of growth. 3 major forces. 1. Aggregate demand, total spending in the economy. When demand rises, leads to production, increases, leads to income rises. 2. Aggregate supply, total productive capacity, driven by labor, capital, technology. 3. Productivity, the real game changer. This is the most important factor. Productivity equals output per unit of input. When productivity rises, a country produces more value with the same resources. Critical truth. Countries do not become rich by printing money. They become rich by producing more value. Why printing money does not create wealth. Let's address the big misconception. If a government prints more money, what changes? People have more cash. Demand increases. But what does not change? Production. Goods and services. Productivity. Result. Prices rise instead of output. This is inflation. Nominal versus real GDP. Nominal GDP, measured using current prices, can increase due to inflation. Real GDP adjusted for inflation. This reflects actual growth in production. Core principle. Printing money may increase nominal GDP, but it does not increase real GDP. What constitutes true wealth? Now we arrive at the most important idea. If GDP is not wealth, what is? True national wealth comes from 1. Human capital, education, skills, health, productivity. 2. Physical capital, machines, infrastructure, factories. 3. Natural resources, land, minerals, energy. 4. Technology and innovation, efficiency, systems advancement. 5. Institutions and governance, laws, stability, property rights, systems. And core insight. Wealth is the ability to produce value consistently over time, not the amount of money printed. The economy is not static. It moves in cycles. Households provide labor to earn wages. Businesses produce to earn revenue. Government taxes and spends. This is called the circular flow of income. When this flow expands, growth occurs. When it contracts, recession begins. Let's connect everything. GDP measures the flow of production. Wealth represents the capacity to produce. Printing money changes neither. The logic chain. No increase in production leads to no real GDP growth. No real GDP growth leads to no increase in wealth. Increase in money without production leads to inflation. A country cannot print its way into prosperity because prosperity is not created by currency, it is created by capability. Capability to produce, capability to innovate, capability to sustain growth. Money is only a reflection, not the source. Now you understand what national income really means, how GDP actually works, what truly drives economic growth, and more importantly, how to think like an economist. Because once you understand the system, you don't just live in the economy, you see through it. If this changed how you see money in the world, subscribe to Real World Business School. Because here, we don't just explain the world, we teach you how it really works.
Now you understand something most people never will, that money is not wealth, production is. And once you see the system clearly, you don't just participate in the economy, you position yourself to win in it. This is Real World Business School. I'll see you in the next class.